Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your grandma coming to you from NYC on this beautiful Thursday morning. So I want to talk about a movie that I saw a couple of days ago that I think is deserving of a review. But it's a movie that has been out for over 4 years. Actually going on 5 years. And it was a huge hit, blockbuster hit, and that is Girls Trip. So, for all of you that saw Girls Trip and you didn't get a review of it, then this one is going to be pretty detailed. If you haven't seen the movie Girls Trip, but want to hear a review of it, this is good. But if you haven't seen it, but you don't want to know what it's about, don't listen until you finish seeing the movie. On a budget of just 19 million, okay, this movie grossed internationally $141 million. That's a blockbuster hit. And I'm sure all the ladies who starred in the film got bonuses from the film, back-end receipts, things of that nature. And this is the movie that really defined Willpacker's career, I gotta say. Because a couple of months before that, he made a movie called Almost Christmas. It didn't flop, but the numbers weren't as big as many people thought he was, as they thought it would be. So I'm going to begin my review of Girls Trip. Girls Trip, which actually stars Reginahall, jada-pinkett-smith, Queen Latifah, and Tiffany-Haddish, is a film about 4 girls who attended FAMU, which is Florida A&M University, back in the 90s, who regularly travel on trips, and they usually go to the Essence Festival. And it has been a tradition of theirs since they graduated from college, which I think they graduated in 95, okay? So after they graduated from college, they kept in touch, but by 2012, they didn't see each other because their lives became busy. Okay, so Sasha, portrayed by Queen Latifah, ended up getting a job and was on the cover of Time magazine. But what ended up happening was that she tried to do her own thing with her own with the company that her and Ryan had together, but it didn't work out, and she ended up vlogging and doing gossip. So she became like a Nicole Bitchy type of blogger, and it wasn't as mean-spirited as Nicole Bitchy, but it wasn't the best representative of the talent that she has. And she was well-educated. She had master degrees, probably 2, but they allude to that, the fact that she had more than a bachelor's. Dina, portrayed by Tiffany Haddish, she's basically a woman who lives recklessly. Now, more than likely, she was an administrative assistant who has a habit of catching STDs that clears up really fast to where she's now immune to it. It doesn't make her sick. She also gets fired for beating up her coworker because he stole her Go yogurt, which I can understand her being mad, but her laying hands wasn't worth it. And she doesn't have kids, nor is she married. And more than likely, she's not going to be married or have kids. She likes being single. Then you have Lisa, portrayed by Jada-Pinkett-Smith. Lisa was the one who was the fun, loving, sexually adventurous friend. But she got married and she had children. And in the late 90s, early 2010s, the relationship or marriage basically dissolved, and she ended up getting a divorce. The husband pretty much won everything, because if you see the scene when she's leaving court, the husband is basically like, yeah, I'm good, I won. But Lisa is walking like, yeah, but her friends were there to support her. She becomes a nurse, which is a really good career move as she made, in that she will always be booked and busy and never broke and struggling. But the only thing she's struggling with is her love life and even her sex life and even her self-confidence, because she starts to basically get stuck in the nursing mode where she wears like the smocks, so that when she's dressing to like, hang out with friends, she was wearing this outfit that was native to a certain tribe in Mexico. It was bad. It was bad on her. And the fact that Jada's so tiny, it looks bad. Then you have Ryan, portrayed by Regina Hall, which the story is built around Regina Hall. Many people thought that it was really going to be built around Jada through the advertisement. No. Jada is in a supporting cast role. Regina Hall is a lead. Her name is Ryan. And Ryan is married to a former NFL football player. And they have a brand where their brand is based on a committed marriage that's full of love, trust, and honesty. But there's a secret that both parties are carrying, and they're lying to the public, and they're even lying to the group of friends, which is Dina, Sasha, and Lisa. But all of that comes out when they're at the Essence Festival. Now, they get to the Essence Festival and they're getting ready to go on a night out of town. Now, the Essence Festival is usually like a 3-day event. And the Essence Festival is always around 4th of July weekend, okay? Now, I want to say that Willpacker did a great job getting those shots of the 2016 Essence Festival. Him getting the shots of them being at the events, interacting with the actual talent while they were basically cast members. That was brilliant. And that was like a first move. That's like the first thing that's never been done before. And that is very indicative of Aries, being the first to do something. So Willpacker being the first to do that, and it was groundbreaking, it was such a hit. He's a very good producer. And he knows how to make those scenes come alive. So I got to give Willpacker his props on that. Now, I'm not going to talk about every scene of the movie because, number one, the movie is 2 hours and 2 hours and 12 minutes long, with counting the credits. Without the credits, it's about 2 hours and 7 minutes long. But another thing is that I really don't want to give away the gist of the movie. But what I will say is that there are secrets being uncovered except for Dina. Dina doesn't keep secrets. She lives her life openly and free. She is unapologetic about the bull that she does. But Sasha, Lisa, Lisa not really Sasha and Ryan, which is interesting because those were the two women that people really banked were going to be successful. Particularly Sasha, more so than Ryan. So Sasha, in the beginning of the film, she gets her car towed because she owes money, not just on her car, but she's backed behind her rent. And no matter what happens, always pay your rent. But Sasha wasn't paying. So what occurred was that Sasha was having bills piled up to where she had her money ready for the Essence Festival because she didn't want to miss it. But she was also on the low kind of working while she was at the festival, trying to get dirt on celebs. But what happens is when they're getting ready to go on out of town, Ryan notices that Sasha has her tags tucked in. She has a tag on her dress. So Sasha's like, just, put the tag back in the dress because, I'm returning it, right after I return from the festival. I always do that. But Ryan's like, okay, because a lot of people do that still to this day. And it's not on some money shit. They do it because they don't want to keep the dress because they don't need to keep it, But as time goes on, Lisa finally gets the kinks out of not being, sexually active for, you could say, pretty much almost a decade, she meets a young man who's a alpha, which is willpacker's fraternity, alpha, my cousin's fraternity as well. And he's 21. Now, at first, she don't want to deal with him sexually like that. But then she realized, it's the Essence Festival. Let me just live. So she ends up having sex with him, even though she doesn't want to, because he's really well endowed. So she grapefruits him, and there's an accident that occurs. But in between that time, the best part of the movie to me was when Lisa had to go pee. She didn't have on any underwear. And she was like, no. Why did you stop? And the zip line stopped. And then she peed on everybody, but hers wasn't unintentional. But Dina, Tiffany Haddish, crazy ass, peed on everyone and thought it was fun. And everyone ran to me. I'm sorry, that shit was funny. But going back to Ryan's character. Ryan's husband, portrayed by the man that played Luke Cage, he's been having an affair for a long time. Now, Ryan kind of knows of the situation, but he told her previously that, they had broken things off. Everything, was, over. So she trusted him. But the girl whose name is Simone, played by an actress named Deborah Ayarinde, who's a very good actress who starred in the movie Them. Well, not the movie, the miniseries, the limited series Them, which is on Amazon Prime. Go watch it. It's an excellent series. She pretty much is a bold mistress, unapologetic. And her being unapologetic gets her ass whipped not once but twice in the film. But eventually she comes around after she gets her ass whipped by the women in the club, because she goes to Sasha and tells her, I really want to leak this information, but I'm going to give it 24 hours because he don't want to claim this baby. I didn't make it by myself. The classic line that mistresses who get pregnant say, I didn't make this baby by myself. Okay. I don't like you, Simone. That's like Sasha's like demeanor. But if you want me to break the story, even though I really don't want to, but you come in to let me know ahead of time, you basically let me know to tell Ryan what's up, to tell her husband what's up. So what happens is they break the news to Ryan. Now, Sasha's trying to prevent the story to leak to the press and to the blogs. Because Simone was like, if I don't get an answer about what he's going to do with his baby, about taking care of the child, I'm taking the story. Now, Ryan says, I'm not surprised. This is what he wanted. He wanted a baby. He wanted a child. So the husband comes into the room, and the husband basically is not liked at all. And I love it when they say, nasty ass, ain't ish, because they didn't like him after a while. But he sweet talks Ryan. Ryan Pierce is her name. And her husband's name is Stuart Pierce. Okay. So what happens is he basically smooths things out. He has her sign an NDA that she wouldn't reveal the information, and he would take care of the baby. Now they get downstairs and they see Ryan boot up with her husband, Stuart. This is when things go left, because they're like, how could you, get back with him? And she's like, we did it for the brand. We did it to make, it's a good business move, because she got offered a 7-figure deal for a show and for, other business ventures because the brand between her and her husband is very marketable. It's very valuable. So what happens is that Ryan gets a notification. And notification is about the husband and the mistress. She thinks that Sasha leaked it out because Sasha needed the money to be broke. And Sasha said, I thought about it, but I realized I wasn't going to hurt my friend like that. But you never really thought anything highly of me. It's always been about you. The reason why I'm in the financial situation to where I can't pay my bills is because you left me for Stuart to make money with him because you thought that it was going to be better for your brand. So basically, Ryan is a therapist who ended up going into a business venture with Sasha back in the early 2000s. But just when things were going to get big with them, she decided to go with Stuart because Stuart had just retired from the NFL and he was a hot, popular football player, and her teaming up with her husband was a better look than teaming up with her best friend from college. So the group called the Flossie Posse ends up falling apart. They diss each other, insult each other, and it's real bad. But Sasha's like, F all of y'all, forget y'all. And I thought I could trust you, Ryan, but I'm done. I'm going back with my real friends. So in the end, things get resolved because Ryan's like, listen, I can't fake it anymore. I can't do this. I can't do business or let alone be in a relationship with someone who lied. You had a baby on me. It's one thing if you cheated. But like Wendy say, if you have a baby on me, I'm done. And that's what he did. So in the end, she leaves him and she goes back to do business with Sasha. And the people who are behind the deal are even more enthused, and they even offer her more money because they see it as like a girl power move. And they see it as even more marketable because that's a new thing of single women. It's more in business, it's more marketable than married women. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate the movie, this is my opinion, I would rate the movie an 8. And I'm going to tell you why. Because even though the movie was over 2 hours long, the movie got straight to the point once you got after the 10-minute mark. A lot of movies don't do that. Particularly a lot of black comedy movies. I'm going to be real. Willpacker got to the point of the film. The director, Malcolm D. Lee, Spike Lee's cousin, got to the point of the film. What I also liked was the cinematography, the clearness in the film. Also, each character had a lot of lines because I really thought Jada was, the movie was centered around Jada. I really didn't know that Reginahall was the lead. I didn't know. I knew Tiffany Haddish was supporting, and this is the movie that made Tiffany Haddish a breakout star. This is the movie that really made Hollywood take notice. And this was after the Carmichael show got canceled. Okay. Another thing that I liked about the movie, I liked that it was a happy ending. That's what I love about comedies, particularly black comedies. I love the happy endings of black comedies and rom-coms. I also like the fact that I want to give a shout out to whoever did Jada's wig because they really hooked her up. That wig was everything. I have to be honest. I also like how they did Regina Hall's hair, Tiffany Haddish hair. Now, I wasn't really as enthused over Queen Latifah's character's hair in the beginning while they was on the trip, but I liked it towards the end. I liked that little 1940s thing she had going on. I really like the fact that they didn't have like traditional careers for the characters. For instance, even though Jada's character became a nurse, I liked how you had somebody who became a blogger, somebody who became like a relationship expert therapist, TV personality, and you had someone who had a career that most college educated people end up having, which is working in administrative assistants, being an administrative assistant. Most people that graduate from college end up working behind a desk, working in that type of field. So the career choices were realistic. They may not have been the choices that they wanted, but it happens. Another thing that I did like to see is that it broke Jada-Pinkett's character from being, this worn out woman in her 40s to being energetic. She was able to have an experience. And another thing I liked, I gotta say, I really liked how they was able to really capture the Essence Festival. Even with like having the people there for like the demonstrations, like the conversations that they had, the expos, they really did their thing with that. I gotta give it to Willpacker, Malcolm D. Lee, the writers. They really was able to infuse that without like making it over the top, making it really messy. They were able to get those perfect shots. And I think that Girl Strip 2 is going to be big, and I'm going to go see it in the movies. I am. I live in New York, where they have those silly, actually they don't have those rules anymore, if you know what I mean. But I'm going to go see Girl Strip 2. So I recommend Girl Strip 2. And I hope that you enjoyed the review. I didn't state everything that happened in the film, because for people that didn't see it, I want people to see it without me telling everything. Because I don't like to listen to reviews either unless I see the film or unless it's something that I'm not going to see. But this movie has been out for almost 5 years. And if you want to rent it, you can rent it on Google for only $4. That's what I did. Also, I want to say thank you for listening. And I apologize if I say too much. I'm really breaking that habit. I'm still getting used to doing reviews. But for a movie that's 20 minutes, not 2 hours, and doing a 20-minute review on a film, I think I did pretty good. So with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm signing off. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.